Is Freddy Potts the new Declan Rice? That is the question people have been asking over the last few days after West Ham's 3-1 win over Newcastle at the London Stadium. Welcome to this week's Wembley Wander. I haven't got as much time today, so there's no Greggs-based hot chocolate or coffee action to note, so you'd have to wait until next week for that. But I still wanted to talk a little bit about Freddie Potts today, a little bit about Nicholas Fullkrug at the end as well. Now, there's even some people that have questioned whether Freddie Potts could be playing here for England very soon at the home of England at Wembley, of course, and it's a possibility. There's no doubt in that, you know. He's been very good. He's impressed in his start to his career at West Ham. And can he play? You can't even see the arch here. The arch is over there. Can he play under the arch in the future? Yes. Is it likely, you know, in the very near future? Probably not. But it was a very, very controlled and excellent performance against Newcastle from him. I mean, they're a good midfield. They're a good side. Widely regarded as probably one of the best midfields in the league. Guimaraes, Tonali, Joe Linton, etc. And look, they had an off day. There's no doubt in that. They were pretty poor, Newcastle, and you know, you can't sway away from that fact. They were underwhelming from their point of view. I was quite pleased, really, because I was fearful of what they could have with that midfield and Voltamada and the likes of Ilanga and Gordon and you know, Barnes, who's hit us before in the past, but nothing of the sort really materialised, and for us that was good. But you've got to put some of that credit down to the likes of Freddie Potts. There's the arch. You know, you've got to put that down to Freddie Potts, because he controlled it really well. He passed the ball around really quickly and efficiently. He got his foot, you know, he stuck his foot in, and he brought everything that we've been missing over the last few months, and really since Rice left. You know, Alvarez did it for a short while. He was good at you know, being the enforcer in midfield and dominating it, but then Alvarez tailed off, and obviously we foolishly let him go, and we've had nobody to fill that gap at all, really. And it's good to see that Freddie Potts started well, and he can fill that role. And hopefully now there was a bit of reluctance from Nuno to start him straight away after, of course, many people called for him to be in the team pretty much from the start of this season, actually. So will he be a mainstay there now? I'd expect so, you know, unless something pretty drastic changes. I'd expect him to be involved certainly in our next few games, because he was a breath of fresh air. And I was sat there in the London Stadium on Sunday thinking, you know, wow, there we go, finally somebody in midfield that's gonna get himself about, that's going to be positive, that's going to defend well and look to push us forward and sort of bridge the gap between midfield and attack, which I've been talking about quite a lot lately, because there's been such a disconnect between the midfielders and the forward line. That seemed to be narrowed a little bit. You know, Paqueta was more involved, and it improved us everywhere, you know, and it sort of underlines how important the midfield is in a team, especially us. Well, we have really good attacking players. Somerville, Bowen, you know, Wilson was again very good. And when you put players around these good players, they are, you know, inevitably going to play well. So that's what we've got to do at the end of the day. And it was a real positive performance, and I haven't stopped smiling since, really. It's been such a negative and underwhelming time for West Ham, and you can't sway away from the fact it's been incredibly poor. It's been really bad, and it was just really nice to have a positive performance to speak about, and to still, people still speaking about it now, and the key takeaways from that, obviously Freddie Potts and Wilson can't play a full game, but was effective in the minutes that he did play. So at the end of the day, that's where we've got to go now. That's the route that we've got to take. We have to look at it and go, right, Potts has got to start in midfield, and all of a sudden we may begin to have a foundation and a backbone of a team back there again. And when was the last time we said that? Again, when Rice was at the club, when we had a solid backbone to the team. Defensively, there's still question marks, but again, they were a little bit better on Sunday. We defended a lot more solidly from set pieces. We looked a lot more consolidated, and we knew what we were doing. And listen, they're a big side. Dan Burns, Sven Botman, all the rest of it. They've got some, Voltamada's good aerially as well, and we nullified that threat where in recent weeks and you know, all the rest of it, we've looked like we're going to concede at every possible set piece. So again, it's another plus point that Nuno has managed to integrate into this side. So that was really positive. And we again need to push on, because it's all well and good going beating Newcastle on Sunday, but then if we go in and drop an absolutely horrendous performance and lose to Burnley on Sunday, then it cancels it out and we're back to square one. So now we need to move on. A brilliant game, let's take the momentum. And for this team, when confidence is so low, any small bit of momentum is so crucial. We've got to take that on to the Burnley game. We've got to beat them at the end of the day. You know, we'll do our preview tonight, we'll talk about it more extensively. But it's a game, yet again, where we simply must win at home against a team that are in and around us as well. I think if we win by 2 goals, we go level, 3 goals, we go above them and out of the relegation zone. 6 points in a week would be a dream. It couldn't get much better. And that's got to be our aim and got to be our target at the end of the day. Now, I mentioned Callum Wilson just a moment ago. His introduction, I mean, his signing was controversial and that was expected. And of course, you can't blame people for expressing frustration, but actually from the signings we've made, Callum Wilson has been okay with what he's done. But one person that hasn't been okay with what he's done up front is Nicholas Fullkrug. Now, there was a report out a few days ago that his agent had said that it's wise and it's logical that he leaves West Ham. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. And then sources and journalists have, of course, jumped on it and, you know, come with the opinion and the story that he will leave the club either in January or in the summer. Listen, he's been a failure, hasn't he? And yet again, you've got to add it to a long, long list of failures up front for West Ham under David Sullivan. Antonio is the only one that succeeded, and he's a player that we, of course, always looked to replace. And Callum Wilson is going to be the short-term replacement up front. He's going to be, you'd like to think, our sort of stay up there this season if he can remain fit. All of a sudden then, if he gets injured, we have problems, big problems. So that is something that Nuno may look to address in January. Defensively as well, it's probably where he'll look to change things. And if Wilson gets injured and we let go Fullkrug, all of a sudden we're back to square one, in the sense of we're going to have to start putting Bowen up front or Paqueta, and we start entering alleys where we don't and we start sending ourselves down avenues that we don't really want to go down, particularly because it's not ideal for any of those players to be going up front. So Fullkrug's going to leave. He's always injured. He was pretty useless with what he had. The best thing that he did was speak out about how crap we were at the back end of last season. That's literally his only valuable contribution to West Ham, and add him to the long and getting ever longer list of players and strikers that has failed under this regime. So I don't think there'll be any love lost or any people particularly upset when Nicholas Fullkrug inevitably leaves the club in January. But look, let's focus on the positives. Let's go in the Burnley game, and listen, the atmosphere was very good at the Newcastle game. Let's take that into the Burnley game and really try and hammer home our advantage and do well in that sense, because we need to win. As I said, we need to win, and in order to do that, fans need to get behind them after the protest, get behind them and really try and pick up our another 3 points and get us up to 6 points for the week. That would be valuable, incredibly valuable for West Ham. Put your thoughts in the comment section down below. I spoke about Freddie Potts and his impact, and how good was he? Talk about him, if you like, in the comment section down below, as well as Callum Wilson, Nicholas Fullkrug, and our upcoming game against but I keep saying Bournemouth, against Burnley on Saturday at the London Stadium. It's another big one, but that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and from lovely, rather damp actually, but not windy like last week, Wembley, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Freddie Potts, very, very good. Nicholas Fullkrug, not so much. Bye bye.